Right now at 5, it is NFL Draft Day. We'll have the sights and sounds as fans prepare for the Packers' first pick.
And the Pope lies in state in St. Peter's Basilica. The ongoing meetings between cardinals before they choose the next pontiff.
Plus, helping those in need, how a Beloit organization is transforming a school into housing. Thank you for staying with us, everybody. Tonight at 5, it is NFL Draft Day. It's finally here. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, it feels like. And in less than 2 hours, it will be time for the very first pick.
Oh, we're ready. We have team coverage of the draft with crews stationed in all around Green Bay. We'll start out with Eric Franke and our Packers expert, Jason Wilde. Hey, guys.
Hey, Brady, Susan, good evening. It's getting a little chilly in the air here, but the energy's up. It's up. You know, we had a couple people from Madison said they left Madison. It was like 70. It's chilly here, but the energy's good. We're feeling people ready for this draft to finally happen.
Well, if you're going to come to the frozen tundra in April for the draft, we got to give a little bit of frozen tundra feeling.
Right.
So, but you're 100% right, Eric. Like the energy level is just, you can just feel the excitement starting to build. We're only 2 hours from the start of the draft itself. A few more hours before the Packers pick, which obviously our viewers are most interested in.
So it's like Cam Ward's the automatic number one of the Titans, right? Is that a foregone conclusion?
He is, and I think you're seeing some reporting out there now that the Jacksonville Jaguars are the wild card, which is kind of how I view my appearances on the news.
Yes,
it'll be interesting to see what the Jaguars have in mind. They might be moving up, and there could be some really interesting stuff at the beginning of the draft.
All right, so yeah, we're getting ready here. We're finally done talking about it. We'd like to see some moves made, and that's coming not too long. Susan, Brady?
Eric and Jason, do we know when to expect the Packers' first pick? Is there a way to know, like, around what time that might happen?
So when the Packers pick, you know, at 23, we can maybe expect that right before our 10 o'clock news, maybe, if we're lucky?
Well, I'm hoping for like 9:35 to 9:45. It really comes down to how many trades occur.
Right.
Because that's what slows down the process. There haven't been any trades leading into the draft, which is really interesting. A lot of times those moves come earlier in the week leading up to the draft. That has not happened. So hopefully we'll just keep on that timeline.
Is it 15 minutes they got each time?
10 only.
10 now.
So that's also why we get it in time for of the 10 o'clock.
They've sped up the game a bit. So
All
yeah,
right.
There's your timetable, Susan.
Okay.
So we're just going to be sitting and waiting for a bit, but the excitement's here.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. And as you just saw, the fans are funneling into Lambeau Field for the big event tonight. Andrew Banstra spoke with one local fan who brought a very special souvenir.
Interested to hear about that. Andrew?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Before the Tennessee Titans can actually put in that first overall pick, that draft card that the team submits has to be certified or signed by somebody to be made official. You would think that might be the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, but no, that's where a local tie comes in. The National Guard has chosen Brandon Byrne, a Green Bay man who is nominated for the Non-Commissioned Officer of the Region Award. He will be signing that first overall pick card to certify whoever that may be. We think Cam Ward as the first overall pick. Let's hear from him on maybe some hesitation about his penmanship on that card.
Penmanship's okay. I did Google to make sure I spelled Tennessee right. I know it's a long one, but I got it figured out. So working on the signature as well. So because I heard the card goes into the Hall of Fame. So can't wait to be an old man and take my grandkids there someday and be like, that's me.
So the NFL draft really can't get started until Brandon Byrne gets his pen or pencil ready. As you mentioned, the Packers will select much later in the night. Talking to fans here, they really want Arizona wide receiver Teteroa McMillan to be the selection. But as we know, we really don't know what will happen around 10 o'clock tonight. At Lambeau, Andrew Banstra, News 3 Sports.
Thank you, Andrew. It's always the fun of it, just seeing what's going to happen.
Exactly, the
unknown.
suspense,
Yeah.
right.
Well, showers will move through the Madison region tonight.
Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington has more. When will we see the rain, Alex?
A little bit after midnight. Right now, a couple showers out there in radar 3000 trying to make it into southern Wisconsin, but they're struggling. Areas west of Prairie du Chien, west of Camp Douglas right now, seeing a couple of those green pitter-patters. But the more extensive rain, even as we put Future Track into motion as we head towards the late evening hours, towards the 10 o'clock newscast, still dry for the most part, but that is going to change as we go into the overnight overnight period. Swinging up to Green Bay, we've got the NFL draft, obviously, going on right now. They also have some showers that will develop later tonight. Friday, if you didn't bring an umbrella, you might want to go purchase an umbrella. If you're tuning in or if you have friends that are up there, tell them they might need that umbrella for at least the first half of the day on Friday. Cooler, 50 degrees, and then a nice day on Saturday. Here across all of southern Wisconsin, that rain overnight into Friday. I'll use FutureTrack to give you a projection of when that starts, when it peaks, when it ends, how nice the upcoming weekend's going to be. Relish, enjoy the nice weather, because we need to talk about the not such good weather, and that's severe weather chances come Monday.
Thank you, Alex. The Illinois man who carried out a deadly attack at a parade in suburban Chicago nearly 3 years ago will spend the rest of his life behind bars. A judge has sentenced Robert Cremo III to 7 consecutive sentences of life in prison without parole. On July 4th, 2022, he started shooting parade goers in Highland Park, killing 7 people. After that attack, the shooter drove to Middleton. FBI agents searched 2 local businesses there, and they found the shooter's phone at Jim's Auto Service and searched Dunn's Import, but didn't recover any evidence. Law enforcement officials say he had considered carrying out a second attack in Madison, but he ultimately decided against it.
It is day 2 of Pope Francis's public viewing ahead of his funeral this weekend. Some of Pope Francis's relatives were among those who paid their respects as he lay in state in a simple wooden coffin. Cardinals gathered again today, part of a series of meetings before the conclave to elect the next pope. Cardinal Timothy Dolan of New York says it's a time to get to know one another.
We listen to one another. There's a nice coffee break where we can chat.
The 75-year-old is one of only 27 cardinals who voted in the last conclave who is still eligible to vote this time around. He says a lot of the younger cardinals are asking for his advice.
President Trump is hinting he may lower the 145% tariff on China. This as the White House tries to make as many trade deals as it can in the coming weeks. The administration says it's spoken to 90 countries so far, but there are mixed messages over the status of talks with China.
Well, they had a meeting this morning, so I can't tell you. It doesn't matter who they is. We may reveal it later, but they had meetings this morning, and we've been meeting with China.
CBS News has confirmed the CEOs of Walmart and Target privately warned President Trump that his tariff policy could disrupt supply chains and potentially result in empty shelves in the coming weeks.
The Trump administration is making another push to bring peace to Ukraine. President Trump has been pressuring Ukraine to agree to a ceasefire, but after Russia's assault on Kyiv overnight, he had a message for Vladimir Putin telling him in a social media post to stop. The president is pushing a proposal that would reportedly exclude Ukraine from NATO. He adds that Russia has made a concession.
The Trump administration's Department of Education is restarting collection of federal loans. It'll also restart the Treasury Offset Program, which collects debts by garnishing federal and state payments like tax refunds. By this summer, the Education Department said a borrower's wages could be garnished. Policy analysts say borrowers can stay on top of their loans by making sure their loan servicer knows where to get in touch.
The housing crisis in Wisconsin has led to what feels like constant construction of new apartment buildings.
And it's also led to some to get creative when it comes to fighting homelessness. Maddie Heimsch takes us to a new living space in an old space.
Royce Elementary School permanently closed its doors to students in 2011. Now those doors are opening back up, but you won't find classrooms down the halls. The Next Steps Family Resilience Center of Southern Wisconsin serves families facing housing insecurity. Most recently, the organization has focused on providing transitional housing, giving those in need a place to stay for up to 2 years. Next Steps Program Director DeMonica Roberts says, as it turns out, Royce made for the perfect location.
Royce is kind of in the heart of all of the families we serve. So one, it's easy access. 2, there's public transportation right along the street. So we're hoping to minimize as many barriers as possible. Breaking down those barriers included a couple walls in pursuit of transforming classrooms into 2- and 3-bedroom apartments, trading desks and chairs for beds and kitchen tables. Tonight at 10, I'll have more on the other services the school houses for families in need. Reporting in Beloit, I'm Maddie Heimsch, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Maddie. And the first families are set to move into the center next month.
This year, Greek mythology is taking the main stage in McFarland from April 25th through the 27th. McFarland High School students will be performing their rendition of The Lightning Thief, the Percy Jackson musical. It's based on the best-selling novel and follows Percy Jackson as he discovers that he's a demigod. It's a tale that's fun for all ages with a rock score, epic guests, and legendary monsters.
There's a lot of onstage combats, which has been very fun to learn. A lot of sword fighting, a lot of singing. I am on stage for every song and a lot of singing, very vocally demanding, but everyone sounds great and everyone's been doing amazing.
The show runs from Friday to Sunday. Tickets are $18 for adults, $12 for seniors and kids. A link to purchase can be found on our website, channel3000.com.
Well, coming up at 5, Alex shows us the dry weekend ahead.
And the NFL draft is just a couple of hours away. We'll look at what fans can expect from the Packers' first pick tonight.
And on Wall Street today, it was a good day across the board. The Dow is up 487 points, the Nasdaq rising 458, and the S&P 500 jumps by 109. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
We are less than 2 hours away from the first round of the NFL draft, and the Packers are set to have the 23rd pick.
For more on what we can expect tonight for the green and gold, let's head back up to Green Bay and rejoin Eric Franke and our Packers expert, Jason Wilde. It's getting more, the more the time passes, the more people we see behind you guys.
Yeah, they're getting crazy here, and they've been drinking longer and longer into the day. It gets crazy. And Susan, I know that your husband is a diehard Vikings fan. Brady, I assume being from Minnesota, you've got some Viking blood in you. So we're going to talk a little bit about the rest of the division too, because this was the Green Bay fans don't like finishing that far down in the division. Detroit was very good. Minnesota, at least until the playoffs, was very good. The Bears are still the Bears, picking at 10 tonight. What are these other teams going to do in this division?
Well, first of all, let's not, as much as we'd like to tease Vikings fans and Bears fans, the Packers were a fingertip away from being 0-6 in the division.
Right.
They would have lost to all 3 teams twice. So Packers don't have a lot of bragging rights right now, but it is an interesting time. They are very much in flux in the NFC. You look at the Minnesota Vikings, which obviously Susan knows, they have a new starting quarterback in J.J. McCarthy. Not only was he a rookie last year and a top 10 pick, but he also missed the entire season. He wasn't even able to practice because he had knee surgery. Then you've got the Detroit Lions, who lost both their offensive and defensive coordinators to head coaching jobs. So Aaron Glenn goes to the Jets, Ben Johnson goes to the Bears. And then we can say the Bears are just the Bears, but I think hiring Ben Johnson, having a top 10 pick yet again, and having the talent that they've amassed, I think things can get really interesting in Chicago. It is a time of flux in the NFC North.
Yeah, no doubt. And like I said, Packers fans don't like finishing third. I thought it was a great conversation you had with LaFleur today in how he always acknowledges he's got to get better as a head coach. He owns it, right, as a head coach. Not all of them do, but Matt LaFleur owns it when he can be better. And he was very reflective as well in that conversation.
Right, and one of the things that I think is kind of self-evident, but I'm glad he said it, is that they need to evolve offensively, right? Their defense was terrific last season. As he pointed out when I was talking with him, they kept them in that playoff game. It was 16-10 in the fourth quarter. The offense was the part that didn't hold up its end of the bargain, and they have to reinvent themselves. They've got Josh Jacobs. They got some really good tight ends in Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave. Their wide receivers need to be more productive, not drop as many passes, and Jordan Love has to make a jump. He got paid like a top-tier quarterback. Now it's time. He dealt with injuries last year, but he has to play like one.
Yeah, they got to keep him upright, keep him healthy, and that's the beginning. It all begins and ends, I guess, at the quarterback position. But there you have it from Jason Wilde. In the next hour, we're going to come back and get his final prediction on who the green and gold might take with that 23rd pick tonight when it does come in the first round tonight. Again, just the first round tonight. And it's going to be a long and it looks like an eventful and fun night with all these fans joining us, as I'm sure you've seen behind us. Let's go back to Susan. I know you like hearing that Viking stuff. There you have it.
Don't let me into that club. We are a house divided. I am green and gold all the way.
She's disowning that.
Yeah.
She's green and gold. He can't hear you, but I passed it along.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Eric. All right, let's get a check on the weather now. The showers are going to move through the area over the coming days, but nice tonight and dry this weekend, right, Alex?
Nice tonight. It's going to be a beautiful night tonight, and the weekend's looking stellar. Before then, we eye up also that severe weather threat. We need to talk much more about that serious threat as we go on into Monday as part of the 3 things you need to get out of the forecast. Here's a sneak peek of the weekend. 60 on Saturday, 67 on Sunday. Light winds overall. Thunderstorm chances, though, will start building in a little bit later on Sunday night, and some of those could even be on the strong side. Right now, rain showers off to the west over towards the Mississippi River, but watch future track here through the evening. They really struggle to move to the east across southern Wisconsin. Eventually, they will make it into the area, and we can take future track and go even further into the overnight. So head towards 4 o'clock in the morning, eyeing up areas towards the Mississippi River. Those showers will peak right around 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the morning. Then they're out of here by the time we get a little bit later into the afternoon after the lunch hour. Plenty of clouds sticking around on Friday. It's going to be a cool day, certainly in comparison to the 7-degree weather that we're experiencing right now. About a quarter to half inch of water, so we'll take all the drops that we can get across southern Wisconsin, as some parts of the area are still dealing with drought conditions. All eyes, all attention really need to be tomorrow, Saturday, most certainly Sunday, and then Monday, as we are looking at the potential for widespread severe weather in the upper Midwest. And that includes southern Wisconsin. When you already see what's called an enhanced risk of severe weather 4 days in advance in an outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, that doesn't happen very often. What that means is the likelihood of severe weather on Monday is there. This could be a big day for the upper Midwest and parts of southern Wisconsin. How does that all break down? I think we're going to have isolated large hail Monday morning as a warm front tries to move into southern Wisconsin. We'll have a brief break. It'll get warm. It'll get humid on Monday out ahead of a cold front. And that's when we see the highest chance of severe weather. Monday evening from, let's say, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock on through the early morning hours of Tuesday. That cold front then exits on Tuesday. If it's an earlier exit, that would end the severe weather threat on Tuesday. During the 6 o'clock newscast, I'll take us through that weather event using future track. Good chances of rain Friday, good chances of rain Monday night. We'll take the rain, but again, we don't need that severe weather. Good news, though, is with the rain that we've had, we still see this continuation of the erosion of drought conditions across the area. Still hanging on to moderate drought over Platteville to Darlington over towards Monroe, but these additional water chances will hopefully help to continue to improve the drought as we start to head towards the planting season. Upper 40s, right around 50 degrees, showers. Can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm tonight. 50s tomorrow, low to mid 50s, I should add. It'll be a cooler day. Here's that gorgeous stuff this evening. While clouds are on the increase, temperature staying in the 60s through a good portion of the evening. So a nice night out there. And once again, beautiful weekend ahead. But don't let that beautiful weekend fool you there, because Monday looks like a dangerous day in the upper Midwest.
All right, Alex, good to know. Still to come at 5, Star Wars fans are celebrating a big anniversary this weekend. We'll hear from George Lucas about his experience completing the prequel trilogy.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5, moving forward.
Starting tomorrow, fans from around the world can travel once more to a galaxy far, far away. Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, is returning to movie theaters for 1 week.
Ooh, Rick Damigella reports ahead of the film's 20th anniversary.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year.
Is it possible to learn this power? Not from a Jedi.
Ahead of the film's original 2005 release, CNN's Max Foster talked with George Lucas about completing the prequel trilogy.
Once you start a trilogy and it goes on for 10 years, you just hope the world doesn't end before you get there and you are able to finish it. So part of the release for me is just to have crossed the finish line.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
What? Obi-Wan and the council don't trust me.
In cinema, you have to make the illusion of the reality believable, and that's the more fantastic it gets, the harder it gets.
What was the most impressive thing about this movie, do you think, for people that are very interested in technology? Where's the breakthrough?
Well, in this movie, to be very honest with you, there are no breakthroughs. I mean, we tried to do the breakthroughs on episode 1, and we did breakthroughs in terms of animation, creating digital characters that can act. Even if some people didn't like some of the characters, they still were very realistic.
Every single Jedi is now an enemy of the Republic.
Using the Force in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
And we'll have a final check of the weather when we come back.
Hospitals that are supposed to provide free or discounted care to those in need are instead suing patients who cannot pay for treatment. We have an investigation. And 250,000 fans of the NFL are crowding into Green Bay, Wisconsin, where the beer and the draft are on tap. It's a windfall for Titletown tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And coming up tonight at 6, police are investigating a suspect accused of assaulting several people on State Street overnight. How law enforcement is cracking down on violence, that's next on News 3 Now at 6.
And finally tonight, the Packers are hosting a competition to find their biggest fan, and one of the 5 finalists happens to have 4 legs. This is Scout. Oh, what a face. A 4-month-old golden retriever.
From his bandana to his treats, Scout is surrounded by green and gold. You won't find Vikings colors with him. Scout's owner says when they went to first get him for the first time, he had a green collar on. Oh, it was meant to be. People can vote daily for their Packers superfan picks until May 1st.
Please tell me Loki has a Packers jersey.
He's got a Packers bandana, a green and gold one.
That's good.
He's covered there. They got shower chances tonight, a little bit later tonight. This evening looking dry up in Lambeau Field, but tomorrow raindrops for southern Wisconsin, raindrops for Green Bay. You'll need an umbrella tomorrow, at least through the first half of the day. But then we got a really nice weekend ahead. Dry, temperatures in the 60s to right around 7 degrees by Sunday. Look at all those good chances of rain widespread Monday night. And with that comes the potential that we could be looking at strong to severe thunderstorms in much of the upper Midwest. As I've been mentioning all afternoon and evening, you're going to want to tune into every single First Warn weather forecast as we go through the next couple of days, because this weather event could be impactful, not just for the upper Midwest, but for southern Wisconsin. We'll keep everybody up to date in the very latest in that weather system.
Good to have a heads up on that. Brady, thanks for your help tonight. Have a good evening, everybody. Hope to see you back here tonight at 6.